Hey y'all, welcome to my YouTube channel. Y'all, I'm so excited because this is literally a long time coming for me. Being on YouTube, putting myself out there. I have started about 10,000 YouTube pages. But I am here now and I'm here on a mission, and I'm so excited to be here and to just share with you guys. I am Alana Wilson. I am 23 years old, as married, and I'm also in my 8th month of pregnancy. So God has called me to really just come on YouTube and just share my life and what it means to be a young believer who's married, who's a mom, all those types of things. So that's what I plan on sharing excuse me, on my channel, so you guys can look forward to videos like that, just different homemaking videos, different videos about just the things I'm learning within, my journey to motherhood, and once I officially am in motherhood, once my son is here, and then even some videos with my husband. I'm sure he would love to be on here. But today, y'all, and if y'all see me looking down, it's because I got my handy dandy notebook, because I got that pregnancy brain, so I literally have to write down stuff because I will forget. Today, I want to talk about my journey from PCOS to pregnancy, because like I said, my channel will be just about my life and the things that are important in my life and the different titles that I am honored and graced to have in this life. So I would be remiss if I did not talk about me getting pregnant, because this is going to be such a big piece of my testimony and just a big piece of, this channel. So PCOS, if you've never heard of PCOS before, and correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, because this is like years ago when I was diagnosed, and a lot of this stuff might have changed now, but I believe this is all accurate information. But PCOS stands for polycystic ovarian syndrome, and basically, y'all, your hormones are just not messing with you. They're not messing with you. They don't like you. It's not a fun time. So it is a hormonal disorder that a lot of women have, and they classify it by 3 main things. So the 3 main things are irregular periods, if you have an excessive level of, what is it called, androgen, which is a hormone that can cause like overgrowth of hair and things of that nature. And then the last one is actually getting like an ultrasound done and seeing polycystic cyst on your ovaries. So they say to technically be classified or to be diagnosed with PCOS, you need to have 2 out of the 3 of those things. So when I was originally diagnosed with PCOS, I didn't have all 3. The main thing for me was just chin hair. So I would say about my last year of high school, my mom was like, hey, like, you should probably go on birth control. You're about to go to college. And I was just like, okay, like, all right, I get on birth control. So I decided to get on birth control, and I noticed, well, I would say my freshman year of college is when it really, really started, like when I started paying attention. So I started to notice that I had chin hair. So not like excessive, because I want to be very sensitive to women who struggle with like severe keratosis, where like literally, their hair is like all the way up here. It's very noticeable. They're having to wax every 2-3 days. Mine is a very slight case of it, to where I would just get like little chin hairs like here, and I'd have to get it waxed every couple of weeks, because if I just left it, it would grow and get bigger. So that was like the first thing that I noticed for me personally. And then also my periods, the end of my senior year of high school, started to get very heavy. So it was like bad. Like, I'm having to change my pads a lot. Like, I would have really extreme symptoms. But as often with Black women and just women in general, when we go to doctors, we're not taken seriously. So my doctors are like, oh, that's normal. Your back is on fire when you're on your period. That's normal. Don't worry about it. Normal part of just being a teenager. So I'm just like, okay, like, this sucks. But every month, I was just used to having these excruciating periods and to just bleeding a lot. And so that started, like I said, the end of high school. And then early freshman year, it got worse to where like the bleeding was a lot more. And also at this time, my periods became irregular. So I would still get my period every month, but it wouldn't always be at the same time. So, you know, like those period tracking apps, most times they didn't work for me because my cycles were either like longer than the typical cycles or less than, so it wouldn't accurately track. So I would always know like, okay, if the app says my period's coming on the 15th, it's either gonna come on like the 20th or it could come on the 8th, because it really wasn't giving me an accurate prediction because my periods were so irregular. So I want to say like first semester freshman year, I went and got on birth control because I was just like, these periods are so bad, like I can't do it, it's a no for me. So I went and I got on just a regular, you know, like pill birth control. And when I got on it, it completely stopped my period. So I didn't have my periods anymore. And I want to say I was still getting chin hair, but it wasn't as bad. So I was on that for a while, but the thing is, I would never remember to take that pill. I would never remember to take that pill. And then I went to the doctor like a few months later, and she was just asking me like, oh yeah, what birth controls are you on? Things of that nature. And I told her, and she was like, oh, you know, there's something called Depo. Y'all look at my face. Look at my face. Depo is the worst thing in life. I just want you to know that. I just want you, I mean, do what works for your body, because everybody's body's different. Depo is the worst thing in life. Like, when she first told me about it, I was like, oh, so I just get a little shot in my booty every 3 months. I don't gotta worry about no pill. I don't gotta worry, like, and it's just there. Like, I'm good. I'm Gucci. Like, it's all good. So y'all know what I did? Without doing any research for myself, without getting a second opinion, without even going and looking up what Depo was, I let them people shoot me up with Depo. So I got Depo, and this was probably, I want to say, my sophomore year of college now when I got Depo. -0, -10 out of 10. Y'all, that was literally the worst experience of my life. The worst experience. Like, I probably came to college at like 145 pounds, maybe. Like, that was like or maybe even less than that, probably like 145. I gained 15 pounds within my sophomore year. I remember just like my emotions were just on a high. I could not control myself. I was mad or sad. I would crave bread, literally like bread. So I would be my husband now, but then boyfriend, he would always tell me like, you need to stop eating pizza, because I would order pizza all the time. Like, I would not cook. I would just be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get Papa John's tonight, and a box of pizza would last me like 2-3 days, because I would eat like three slices a day. So that would last me. That would be like dinner one night and then lunch and dinner the next day. So I was eating pizza, eating a lot of sandwiches and stuff like that. And then also, once again, I was not getting my period. So I didn't know. I hadn't like started researching a lot at this point about PCOS, and I don't think I had been diagnosed with it yet at that point either. But I was just kind of like, I don't think it's healthy to not get your period for like months, because at this point, like I told y'all, when I was taking the regular birth control pill, I wasn't getting it, and then now in Depo, I wasn't getting it either. So I was just like, I don't think this is healthy, because it's going on about 6-7 months. Something need to come out. I was like, I feel like your body's supposed to be cleansing itself. Like, I don't know if I feel comfortable with that. So then at this point too, my chin hair is getting like ridiculous. Also, like I said, I gained a lot of weight, and I was having like a lot of gut issues. My bloating, y'all, if I ate a piece of rice, literally my stomach would bloat so bad. It would bloat so bad. So I remember just going back to my doctor and being like, I don't want to take this. I'm still getting this chin hair. Like, what is this? Why am I getting chin hair? And once again, I was just told like, oh, well, it's just probably your hormones. It's normal. And I was like, this is not normal. Like, I'm a female. I should not be getting, and it wasn't just like a one chin hair that you can just pluck. It was like, I'm getting a little beard here. I'm getting a little something, a couple patches. So I was just like, no, like, this is not normal. And that's why, like, I learned at that point, and I'm so happy I learned this lesson, why you must advocate for yourself. Like, obviously I'm a Black woman, but it's not even, I don't even want to make it a black or white thing. Just as a woman, period, you have to advocate for yourself, because these people will just tell you everything is normal, it's fine, it's okay. And obviously I'm not telling you to go read Google and diagnose yourself with some foolishness and speaking, you know, crazy stuff over yourself, but you are not crazy. So if you genuinely feel like something is not right and what the doctor's telling you is not adding up, and all they want to do is prescribe you pills, because that's all they told me was like, oh, well, let's just try this birth control, let's try this birth control, let's try this. And I'm just like, no. Like, the medicine is not working. I hate Depo at this point, and it's just stuck in my body until it wears off, because I got a shot in my booty. Like, it's just not working. So then I want to say it's like 2020 at this point, so it's around the pandemic. So as we know, TikTok boomed during the pandemic. Social media in general boomed during the pandemic. And I, obviously my college closed down. So I went home to my mom's in Virginia. So as I was just scrolling on TikTok, I came across this video about something called PCOS. So that was my first time ever hearing about PCOS. And I was like, wait a minute. I said, my periods were irregular. Check. I said, okay, I had a lot of chin hair. I was like, check. The only thing that didn't, you know, check the box for me was the cyst on my ovaries, because I had never gotten an ultrasound before, or like, you know, gotten that checked. And then also I saw a lot of women talking about bloating, like excessive bloating too, tiredness, or not being able to lose weight. Because like I told you guys, I gained so much weight on Depo, and then also going into the pandemic. And when I say I tried all the teas, I tried everything that you could try, and I feel like it made it either worse or like nothing would happen. So I was just like, I think I have PCOS. Like, I think I have this thing. So I remember going to my doctor, and this was a couple months later. And at this point too, I also decided I wasn't at school anymore. So I didn't get another Depo shot, because when I hated it. And then also through my research, I figured out that for me to truly see where my hormone levels is, or where they were, I can't be shooting myself up with all these, you know, hormones and all these different birth controls, because I want to see like the baseline basically of what is in my body. So that's what I did for a couple of months. I didn't do any birth control. I didn't go to the doctor anyway, because it was the height of the pandemic. So unless it was, you know, emergent, we weren't really going to the doctors. So I would say the fall of 2020, when things were like cooling down a little bit and schools were opening back up, obviously with mask mandates and stuff like that, I went to the doctor and I presented all that information to them, and they did blood work, and they checked my levels, and my testosterone and my androgen levels were like through the roof. So then right then and there, the doctor was like, oh yeah, you have PCOS for sure. She didn't like that was it. She's like, oh yeah, you have PCOS for sure. That's it. So I'm just like, okay. So I'm happy, because I'm like, yes, like something's wrong with me, which I know sounds crazy, but just after being told for so long, like, oh, this is normal, take birth control, lose weight, and nothing working, it's like, I'm like, no, like something has, like, so I'm not crazy, something's wrong with me. So to be affirmed in that way, I was happy, but then at the same time, you have to be careful, because, and I will get to that part of the story a little bit later, y'all, we got to be careful of claiming things and speaking stuff over our life, because the power of the tongue is so powerful. Because I was so happy that I finally got a diagnosis, I started speaking over myself all the time, and I kind of consumed that identity of PCOS. So the doctor was like, yeah, so it's going to be really hard for you to get pregnant. So, you know, you might want to look into, you know, if you want kids, like trying in your 20s, because if you wait longer than that, it's going to be really difficult, just all these things. So I began to like feed myself that narrative. And even in my relationship with my now husband, I'd always be like, yeah, like, I don't think I'll be able to have kids, or I think it's going to take us, you know, like a long time to have kids, because that's what the doctors are saying. And not even realizing that, like, I am being the witch over my own life. Like, I'm literally speaking this thing. And I'm not saying be oblivious. Like, obviously, if you get a diagnosis, but speak healing over yourself. Like I said, I'm a Christian. I believe in Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ, okay? Because you got to be very specific nowadays with what it means to be a Christian and all that. No shade, no tea. But as a believer, if you are a believer in Christ, we have the authority and the power through Jesus to speak healing over our body, to speak the word of God back over ourselves, and to declare healing and to declare and decree that we don't have these things. So my relationship with God wasn't where it was now back then. So I didn't understand that every time I'm saying these things to people, like I'm literally speaking word curses over myself. And also I got so caught up in the fact of, oh yeah, I finally got a diagnosis, that I wasn't even trying to think like, what does this mean now? Because I just went home like, yep, I got PCOS, cool, like, I'm right. I told y'all something was wrong with me, but still came home, no solution, still lost, still having the same problems, same thing. So later on after that, it's probably 2021 now. I'm still on TikTok, and I'm just watching all these videos because I'm just like, yes, I have PCOS. I'm looking up every PCOS video on YouTube, on TikTok, and at the time there wasn't that many, because even still, PCOS is still, I think, like not really well researched, or they don't have a lot of just data and statistics out on it. So it's very vague and not much out there. But what I could find, I just found solace in like having community and people that also are talking about, the embarrassment that comes with if you don't go get a wax for a while, your chin hair. So like me, like I said, dealing with that, and then being in a pandemic where I literally could not get my chin waxed. So I'm literally growing a beard or looking pregnant, which I'm actually pregnant now, obviously. But at the time, like being 20 years old and I eat a snack and I look like I'm in my first trimester, like just, having community and people that understood me and got me. So then one day I came across this woman, and she's like a holistic nutritionist, and she was just talking about gut health and how your gut is connected to everything in your body. And she talked about how she basically cured her PCOS by changing her diet. And I don't think she went vegan. I want to say she cut out like dairy, breads, and certain things, and she stopped having her symptoms, and she didn't have to take birth control, and she was able to reverse all of her symptoms. So then I just went down a wormhole of just researching all of those things, and I started seeing not even people with PCOS, but just with like endometriosis and all these other diseases and stuff, and just talk about how it's basically linked to inflammation in your body. So I was like, okay, medicine's not working. The doctors are just like, this is what it is, this was gonna be, boom. So I was just like, this is something that, I can try. So 2021, I went on a plant-based diet for like the entire summer. So like probably like 2.5 months, I want to say. Y'all, and not only was it plant-based, I also had cut out sweets. I cut out dairy, obviously meat, breads. So I really was just eating like fruits, veggies, nuts, things of that nature. The first week of it was really bad. Like I was really tired, very, very sluggish. But after that, y'all, I had so much energy. I lost that weight like this. And I'll probably insert some pictures here of me during like that 2020 period versus when I went on that, when I did that plant-based diet. Y'all, my stomach had never been so flat. My skin was glowing. And then also I had periods, but they were like so light. They were so light. I only had them for a couple of days, the lightest they've ever been in my life. And also my chin hair, it was still growing, but like barely. Like literally, it was at the point where I didn't need to get waxed. I can literally just pluck them because it was like little spots of hair. So I ended up going back to school fall of 2021, and I fell off because obviously as a college student, like life is very hectic. And that summer I was living with my mom, so I had a big kitchen, I had access to, I was going to farmers markets and stuff like that. And I went to school in Greensboro, North Carolina. We ain't had all that there. I had a little kitchen. So I honestly fell off. So, those things started back up again. But even I still kept researching, and then I learned about hormone disruptors and how so many of the just day-to-day things that we use have chemicals in them that can disrupt our hormones. So I was like, dang, the food I'm eating, the soap I'm using, the pads I'm using, all this stuff can cause like issues, like all these things. So I went down a little rabbit hole once again. And in 2021, I cut out candles. So I stopped using candles because that was like one of the biggest ones. I changed my soap. I changed my deodorant. What else did I stop using? Even like my makeup, which I don't really wear makeup like that, but like the makeup I was using, and I tried to find like clean brands or brands that didn't have a whole bunch of chemicals and things in them. I went and got like all natural pads and tampons. So I really just became very conscious of what I was putting in my body, on my body, inside of my body. And even just through that, I found so many just shifts from 2020, 2019, when I was like heavily dealing with my symptoms. And then the biggest thing of it all is that my mindset shifted. And like I said, at this point, I was like, no, like this doesn't have to be my story, because I saw the proof of that things are getting better. Like when I went on that diet, I lost all that weight. When I switched over these products, I stopped growing chin hair as much. My periods were still very short. So I stopped speaking and claiming that over my life, you know, that it was going to be so hard for me to have kids, and that it was going to be, you know, this horrible process, and will I ever have kids? And in the moment, I didn't realize that I was speaking, you know, positive things over myself, or it wasn't even, I would say, as intentional as you know, I can look back and be like, wow, that was very intentional. But I will say, me changing my mindset and doing all those things, it allowed me to get pregnant, because then in December of 2021, I actually got engaged to my husband. So all of then 2022, even though I didn't continue the plant-based diet, I was still very conscious, like, you know, with my dairy intake, with sweets, with breads, just those things that cause inflammation in the body. And still to this day, the products I use, my lotions, my deodorant, like I don't play about those, even just like the hand soap. And I would make a whole nother video about hormone disruptors if you guys want to hear about that, and just some of the natural changes I've made to my home. But I realized that you don't have to take medicine. I don't have to take medicine. I don't have to accept that this is just normal, or this happens to women sometimes. Like, no, I don't have to accept that. So I then continued with all those things. I wasn't on birth control. I completely stopped taking birth control for like over a year. And then in October of 2022, I got married to my husband. And then November of 2022, a month later, I found out I was pregnant. I found out I was pregnant, and I was we were so shocked. I don't know why we were that shocked, because like I said, I hadn't been on birth control in over a year and a half. But yeah, I got pregnant. Something that when I first started this journey was something that was said to me so many times, like, it's going to be hard for you to have kids. It's going to be hard for you to have kids, or it's going to be hard for you to even get pregnant. All these things that the doctors were speaking and telling me, but because I just didn't believe it and I knew there was another way, I truly believe that's why I was able to get pregnant. And y'all, even, which we'll talk about in further videos, when you're pregnant, you get so many blood tests. And when I tell y'all, by the grace of God, I am so healthy. Like every single time I get a blood test, they're like, oh yeah, this level's great. This level's great. This is good. This is good. Like, to God be the glory. But I am very healthy. I am very healthy. And like I said, I don't eat plant-based now. I really didn't eat all that great in my pregnancy. I ate pretty good. I'll probably do a video, maybe, because I'm about to give birth any day now. But yeah, I'm very healthy. And this is something that I just never thought was going to be possible. And it was, through the grace of God, through just me advocating for myself, through me looking at research. So I just wanted to start off with this, because like I said, this was such a big piece of me getting pregnant. I truly believe, had I not made all those shifts and I just stayed on the birth control and I just didn't advocate, I probably wouldn't be pregnant today. So I just want to share that with y'all. And I just want to encourage anybody who's dealing with PCOS, or endometriosis or any type of hormonal things or anything going on in your body, consult the great physician, consult the Lord, and remember that by his stripes you are healed, and that you can declare healing over yourself, that you can speak to your body. And not only that, there are so many other methods out here other than medicine. There's so many other doctors, there's so much information out here. So don't just get caught up on one thing. Do not be discouraged, because you will be healed. You will be healed in the name of Jesus. So yeah, just be encouraged by that, and know that you're not alone, and that if you desire to have a baby, if you desire to be healthy, if you desire, you can have all of those things, and that it's just a matter of time. So yeah, y'all, now we have this blessing. We have our son here. So I just wanted to tell that story to you guys, and y'all can look forward to all my mother content that's gonna be coming out and all the things. So I'm excited for you guys to go on this journey with me. Like this video, subscribe, comment down below if you've struggled with PCOS, if you're still struggling with PCOS, any of those things. I would love to hear from you guys, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.